Hi, this is Ang Lee. I'm in New York. This is night for me. And how are you, pal?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm here in Taiwan, so it's morning here.
Well, congratulations on the movie. Um, what a fresh air.
Thank you so much. It's been a
Fresh
long
air.
journey.
Um, Especially in today's cinema. Um, I think it's quite precious to us. I think we all have that piece of a Lunana in our heart. Every movie I make, I'm making a new adventure. I was hoping to go to the same place, but say I try to hit that same innocence every time,
Ah,
every adventure. And your movies remind me, I believe, to a lot of audience the same way. We want to go there. We want to get in touch with other people, with nature. It's just precious, precious, very simple, but very touching movie. Thank you for going through all that and share your country and your culture with us. And your Lunana with us.
thank you so much. It's been an extremely long journey, and I'm just glad that a wider audience can now get to enjoy it and see my beautiful country and culture and people.
People, most of all.
Yeah.
Basics, especially the young girl.
Yeah,
Uh,
Temzam.
Depends on
Yeah.
to break your heart. Wild, wild. It's everything. We want to keep it that way. I hope the world keeps that way. So tell us, how did you come about the idea? Do you know the event really well? Is this something you always want to make?
Oh, I have always wanted to make a film about, seeking home, seeking where you belong. Because, with Bhutan, I'm sure you have already heard this, but we are supposedly the happiest country in the world. But, of course, it's true that we are a country that values happiness over everything else. But as the country has opened up to the outside world, the innocence of the Bhutanese has been shattered because they kind of see what is outside the outside world. And their idea of what an ideal life is then is changed. A lot of the Bhutanese are now overcome with curiosity, thinking, oh, what is beyond our mountain? How is life over there? And when that happens, you could say almost like, ignorance is bliss. You're no longer content with what you have in your little village, and you want to explore. And with this film, I wanted to touch upon a common trend in Bhutan, and that is, a lot of the younger Bhutanese, they want to venture beyond Bhutan to seek happiness and where they belong in, the modern, in the glittering lights. So I wanted to create this story where we go back to the roots, we go back into the traditional, into the backward, into Lunana, which interestingly in our language is known as the Dark Valley. So I wanted to explore if we can actually find what we are seeking in the light, in the darkness, in the shadows.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So one of the major theme in the movie and the drive is education.
Yes.
I believe that the teacher is precious because he knows the future.
Hmm.
So is that kind of ironical in the same way you're pursuing your goal,
Yes, actually,
future, and open yourself to the world, to knowledge? At the same time, you're going the other way.
yeah. Actually,
How do you see that? It's a internal conflict, isn't it?
yes. Actually, there's different reasons for for the character to be a teacher. I mean, first of all, again, going with what is happening in Bhutan, I wanted to really show what is happening right now, and that is, I think that the character could be anyone else. He could be a doctor, he could be someone who goes to measure the melting glacier lakes up there. But I wanted him to be a teacher because right now, in my country we have a big problem, and that is we have the number of teachers in our schools, in our country, is always decreasing. Many of the teachers are quitting their jobs, so I wanted to kind of reflect that in the movie. But also, I think, and I think you know this yourself, coming from Taiwan, in our Eastern tradition, we have almost this veneration for, the teacher figure, the Laoshe figure. And even in Bhutan, yeah, we have that. But as we are, as we modernize, we are losing touch with that. And I wanted to go back to that. And but also, touch upon how the main character learns all his important lessons from the most unlikely teachers, be it the little girl, be it the yak in the classroom, be it the village headman, be it his friend who's the guide who's uneducated but yet tells him such profound things about, for example, the melting, snow and ice.
Um, with that irony, it reminds me of one Chinese proverb, which is uh, teaching is learning.
Hmm.
Teacher learns more than the student gets.
Yes.
Uh, in Taiwan, I noticed the name of the movie is the Bhutan is a classroom.
Yes,
Um,
Bhutan is the classroom.
classroom is the Bhutan the classroom. Um, it seems to me the classroom is really for the your leading character than these children.
Yeah.
More about him learning, taking, uh,
Yes, yes. He is
and
the student
he
actually.
teaches English, math, which is veering the children go together and towards civilization, which
Yes.
work against your theme. But it's more as your Chinese title suggested. Uh,
Hmm.
within the classroom for this particular teacher for the
Yes.
modern youth of Bhutan, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
So
I think another thing is, especially with our younger generations, we tend to overlook the ancient wisdoms of our traditions, of our forefathers. And that is kind of what Lunana represented, the wisdoms of our traditions.
you know, well, how do you keep the balance while you're pursuing the future, so to speak, and openness and modernization at the same
Well,
time keep the
I think with
uh,
Bhutan,
happiness. I think that the essential theme here is happiness. How do you connect
yes.
on both sides and with people and reaching for that internal happiness for all of us?
Yeah.
That's
Well, the thing is, with this story, I think change, modernization is inevitable. In Bhutan, it's interesting. We were the last country in the world to allow television. We were the last country in the world to connect to the internet, and that all happened when I was a teenager. And it was quite it had a big cultural impact. Suddenly, the televisions were everywhere. Suddenly the television became a status symbol. Villagers were selling their cows and their lands and their yaks in order to have a television. And then the televisions were kept in the shrines, out of respect. So there was this big like change in society. But I think to have the balance, as I was trying to show in the movie, is that we have to accept the change. Ugyen goes to Australia, goes to follow his dreams because we are accepting this change. But to find the balance is to know, to know your roots, where you are coming from. And as I was going back earlier about the whole thing about the light and the shadow, I'm not saying that the shadow is better than the light, or that the light is better than the shadow. But what I'm saying is, we must really experience the shadow in order to appreciate the light more. This whole modernization, it's interesting because as I was saying, it's inevitable. Like, for example, when I captured Lunana, I really wanted to capture this untouched purity of the people up there. And of course, there was a part of me also feeling a little bit guilty. I was thinking, oh, these people have never been, shared with the rest of the world. Am I doing the right thing? But interestingly, the day I finished shooting Lunana and I was leaving Lunana, there was a team that came in to take over my space in the house where I was staying, in the village house. And this was the telecommunication people who had come to plant a cellular tower, the village's first cellular tower. And I felt so sad because, yes, in a way, life will get better with all this modernization coming in, but then these things will change the people's values. And all these beautiful stories about, singing as an act of offering, veneration to the nature, to the yak, it'll all disappear. And it's happening so fast, because that was just like a year and a half ago, and already this little girl Pemzam is all over TikTok, and it's cute, it's nice, but then that innocence is then lost. So in a way, I felt like, oh, at least I was able to capture this village before it transformed and became like anywhere else.
No, still lovely. Well, I think the audience, like myself, appreciate you didn't sensationalize it. You didn't have a like wishful ending. Like he
Mm.
finally dramatically decided to turn back with the people. He moves on, pursu- pursuing his life goal. So that's quite admirable as a filmmaker from one filmmaker to the other.
Thank you so much.
In in real life, do you know the singer? Did he make the right choice? Is he happy? Make
um
me wonder. You have made me
you know
made me
it,
wonder. Is he happy? Is he always thinking, did I make the right choice?
interestingly,
My vision versus a dream
mm,
versus purity, how we connect, stay innocence and all that. Um,
you
I'm just
know
curious about him.
yeah, interestingly, when we did the casting for the people, because in Bhutan we don't have professional actors. So something that I had to do purposely is that I had to cast people who actually mirrored the characters, so that they wouldn't necessarily be acting or performing, but actually just, being themselves. So when I casted Sherab Dorji to be the main protagonist, he was a gifted singer, and he told me that he quit his schooling because he wanted to pursue music as a career. And he was confident, he had a good screen presence. But what really like confirmed him as the lead is, I was talking to him and he told me that he was waiting for his Australian visa because he was going to Australia. So in a way, that worked. So I thought that would be perfect. And interestingly, he was waiting for his visa back then, but as he made this film and as he got into this journey, he's still in Bhutan, singing in the bars and in the receptions and all that. So in a way, I feel like maybe in the movie, we had him going, but in reality, he stayed back.
Okay.
So it's interesting because especially the younger audiences, the children, they were very unhappy with me, saying that, number one, I let the lead character, the teacher, leave Lunana. Number two, the Saldon, the yak herding girl, and the teacher never really had
Uh,
their the romance. But the interesting thing is, number one, Sherap is still in Bhutan, and number two, the yak herder girl and the teacher, in real life, they're a couple. So it
oh,
works out well in reality.
okay. With the movies, they don't have to be artistic, inspiring, but yeah, real life work out beautifully. Are they happy, the kids?
Yeah, they're happy. They're happy, and they're trying to make a career out of the arts, music. And as you can imagine, in Bhutan, it's so small, the market is so small. It's tough. It's tough, but it's admirable that they are still pursuing what they are passionate about.
Uh, Speaking of this, actors uh, playing themselves,
Mm,
amateur actors. I've shot many amateur actors. They just
mhm,
cannot play themselves with camera
mhm,
rolling. They turn
mhm,
very unnatural.
Uh-huh.
have reporter facing camera doing reporting scenes. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what to say. They were like flustered. I have
Mm-hmm.
lawyers play lawyers, doctor play doctors. They just when camera roll, they just like they cannot be themselves.
Yes.
Tell us how you work with well, one of the thing other than the sceneries is those beautiful faces, how they perform. It's not like it's documentary. They just
Mm-hmm.
behave. They actually do acting. So how do you work with them? How do you keep them natural but still performing a featureized movie, particularly
Well,
kids?
uh,
I know
I think
Stephanie has something to do with it. Yes.
yes, yes, definitely. Actually, for the people who we casted from the city, like the main character, the ones we see in Thimpu, we had an acting workshop, and as you were saying, my wife Stephanie, who is a theater actor, so she had like a crash course on acting with them, and that helped a lot, I think. For the people up in Lunana, it's very interesting because you would think that okay, you know what, people from the city, they know what film is, they know what acting is, so maybe it'll be easier. But actually I found it easier working with the villagers up there, because interestingly these people have never ever been beyond their village. So for them, they have never experienced what a light bulb is. They don't have light bulbs, they don't have electricity up there. So keeping that in mind, they have never experienced cinema, they have never watched a movie. So when you don't have the concept, of cinema, of camera, then all that inhibition and feeling uncomfortable, that's not there anymore.
Awareness,
Exactly.
self
So
awareness.
yes, so every time we were shooting the children, we would just like place the camera and be like, okay, you are just going to do this class scene, just go along with it. And the camera was basically like a fly on the wall. We just, every scene we told the kids, be themselves, but don't spike the camera, and that was it. So a lot of the scenes that we see were very organically captured. It was just happening in the classroom, everything, without actually me giving any directions. The children interacting with themselves, copying each other's notes, digging their notes, this impromptu lines that they were throwing out, it was all natural. And I think that's them not having a concept actually made it much easier for us.
Oh, that's beautiful. I wish all actors like that.
But I
I
think once they have an
hope they
idea of
learn what
cinema,
they learn, what they know.
yes, unlearn.
You don't have to do that part. I envy you. So, what's their reaction when they see when they first see images of themselves, see something play out?
um
You ever let them watch playback and stuff in the camera?
the thing is, because of the limited electricity we had, this entire film was actually made on solar batteries. So we only had enough power to power our camera and our sound equipment, and then very little power to dump the footage. So we never watched any playbacks.
Oh,
It was very much like,
for you.
shooting film. And that being said, I never, when we were shooting and leaving Lunana, I was so stressed out because, since I didn't watch any playback, I didn't know if we got all the footage. I only saw what we had once I came back to Taiwan and started post production, which was like 2 months later. So that was a big challenge. And I think because for the actors as well, they didn't see any playback, they didn't become, self-conscious about how they were performing, how they were appearing on screen. So it actually helped a lot.
Wow.
As for the movie itself, it was
They
always
eventually see it.
no.
No.
My promise to them was that I would come back and we would watch it all together in that valley,
Uh-huh.
where the children were dancing. And I even left my one generator back there to do the screening.
Or,
But unfortunately, after the film was made, COVID hit, and these people are, an isolated settlement up in the mountains. They have a very different immune system compared to us. So
oh,
something like COVID coming there would really, I think, cause a lot of problems. So
oh.
we delayed our
Yeah, we
trip
a
up.
little bit about that Bhutan. I don't know about Lunana, but in Bhutan, you have some problem with the COVID.
Yes, Well, Bhutan actually has been very, very admirable. We have an open border with India, so the pandemic is coming in through India all the time. But we have held strong. We are one of the most vaccinated countries in the world. Cases have been kept low. We're in like only like I think a few thousand cases the whole pandemic. But unfortunately, the current Omicron variant is tearing through our country, which is very sad. And our king has taken this approach of not even one case will be tolerated. So right now the entire country is under lockdown, trying to keep out the virus. And it's sad, but that's the reality now. But and I'm very happy with how our country has dealt with this.
Yeah, uh, we wish you all the best. It
Thank
sounds like
you.
a beautiful. Well, talk a little bit about your production. Was it
um
hard?
Very, very difficult, because we were discussing about the actors, all first timers, but also our crew members. It's in Bhutan we have
People
so
crew.
many
How many
talented people.
people?
What was
How many
that?
people you brought up there?
We had
What
about 35.
35?
35. But in Bhutan, there are so many talented filmmakers, talented artists, but we are so small, and our film industry is tiny. We produce a film like this maybe every 3 to 4 years. This is the reason why we are the only second Bhutanese film to ever be submitted to the Oscars, and we are the first one to be shortlisted. So even though people are passionate about creating, there is no means of doing it. And so most of these crew members, they want to make films, but they have to do other jobs. They're working as waiters, they're working as, shopkeepers. And to be able to come together and make this film, it was a great opportunity for them. And all of us were learning through this process. And, I feel like going up to Lunana, facing the hardship, living as the locals did, for the crew members and the cast, that experience then translates onto the film. Then you can, I think the audience really feels that. But Lunana's journey as well, it's given all of these creators a boost of confidence, I think, myself included. Because I've said this to other people as well. Because Bhutan is a Buddhist country, from a young age, we are taught to, one of the foundations for our lives is also humbleness. And I think when you have that humbleness instilled in you, sometimes you begin to question yourself if you are worthy to, to do things, if we can contribute to the world and all. So when something that we made is being recognized by the world, we feel like, oh, we can do it as well. So it's been a good journey for them.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for bringing out this movie. I
Thank
believe
you.
we all have that Lunana in our heart.
Thank you so much.
Uh,
Actually, before we end, I was hoping maybe you can, give us some advice, not only me, but, younger directors. Like your earlier films, Pushing Hands, Wedding Banquet, Eat, Drink, Man, Woman. Those films, I feel like in a way you kind of touched upon things that I'm trying to tell now, which is, this whole clash of cultures between, the Eastern, the traditional, and the modern. And for me, like what Bhutan is going through, I feel like that is such an important story to tell. And what advice can someone like you give younger filmmakers, storytellers like like myself?
well, when I was asked that question, I used to joke about, I dare you to do it. Don't do it. Uh, because making movies about your dream clash with reality. Uh, but those who will do it will do them regardless. So you don't need any encouragement.
Hmm.
And I would encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, which is follow your heart, what you care the most. That's the best chance you grab something, you do your best. I think that's very important, and that's getting harder and harder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you mentioned my first three movies. Compared
Mm-hmm.
to what I do now, it's a lot easier. Things get
but but
so,
but but I think
yeah, you think experience will help and all that, but it's like you're actors. When you're
mhm,
aware of, you do your best, and people
mhm,
will take that in wholeheartedly. People can see it. So
mhm,
keep that innocence. Keep going back to that Lunana and extract the truth from it, and brave enough to admit it, to expose to it, and share it. I think that's gold. But it's harder and harder once you get more experience. Same thing with movies, same thing with acting,
mhm,
same with civilization. That's why like watching a movie though it's very simple,
mhm,
but it's important that we always touch that. You'll get better and better, no doubt, because you're a passionate filmmaker, you're smart, and it seems like you have good help as well. You have good people surrounding you, so enjoying all that. But things will get harder, uh, and you just need to keep making movies. Do your best and see what happens. Be brave in dealing with reality, and that's very consuming for art.
mhm.
So take care of yourself. Uh,
Thank you so much.
we
Means
forget
so much. It means so much to
you're
me.
young. You can go up that mountain, Lunana, and feel nothing, and come back still feel good. Age, filmmaking would take its toll, uh, and then you'll feel it. So we tend to forget that movie making takes a lot of stamina. It's a
Mhm,
physical thing. You
definitely.
have to be physically and spiritually strong. So you need to take care of yourself. Don't indulge. I'm an old man now, but yeah, I wish I could go back to like your age and being that innocence again. And it's harder to get that innocence because I'm getting older, age,
Mhm,
civilized, maturity, and all that. But we never forget that inner child we always having. We never want to grow up, so that's precious. Um, remember what you did. If I had any advice, keep, keep your Lulana with you always and work as hard as you can.
definitely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's no, it means a
Stay
lot.
well. Stay well.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, good luck. Good luck with the
Thank you so
movie
much. Thank you.
and good luck with everything with your future.
Thank you.
Bless you.